Hello and welcome to Flights of Fandom, the show where we create improvised fan fiction using tabletop role-playing games. I'm David, he, him. I'm a graphic designer, an illustrator, and a game designer. You can check out all of my stuff over at dbb-8.itch.io, and I will be your game master this evening. This week, we are continuing Longshot, our Flight in the Star Wars universe. And we're playing the Forged in the Dark role-playing game, Scum and Villainy. I am joined this evening, as I have been for Longshot so far, by...
Hey everyone, it's me, Marcy, aka Experimental Madness. You can find me under that username most places around the internet, except for Twitter, in which you can find me under Merciful. And tonight, like I have been for the past 2 weeks, I am playing Zethu Desh, the pilot.
Hi, I'm Wesley. Any pronoun will do. You can find me on social media as Horniest Lobster. And tonight, I will be continuing to play Dr. Gom.
Hi, everybody. I'm Puja. My pronouns are she, her, and I play Ahesha Laluar, a Togruta mechanic slash lobber of Cheekra. And I'm looking forward to shenanigans tonight.
And last and also stature-wise least, hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Hopper. I can be found on the various clanky bits of the interwebs as Fail Deadly, and that's with a 3 instead of an E because bad person. And also at The Legend Tree, where I occasionally post more serious and well thought out ideas. And I will be playing Cheekra, the Ewok muscle.
All right. So, as we do on Longshot, let's start off our episode with the opening crawl. We move down and see stars twinkling over a big rooftop hologram of a Rancor roaring, surrounded by searchlights piercing the night sky. An orbiting line of Arabesh letters marching around the domed roof of this building spells out the Rancor Club. Further down, we see a landing pad jutting out from the club. Question for the group. Did your crew take the Longshot, or did you take your shuttle?
I would hope we would take, something maybe less obvious
Shuttle?
to this party. I vote shuttle.
Okay.
Shuttle.
So we see your shuttle parked on the far end of the landing pad. What does the shuttle look like? Tell me about this little shuttle that you normally have sort of docked to the underbelly of the Longshot.
It's fairly nondescript. It's mostly for like quick trips where I don't want to bring the ship all the way out of orbit, or I'm trying to get from like one part of a planet to another. Or in some rare cases, it doubles as my escape pod.
Sure. So we see the shuttle parked on one end of this landing pad, with some heavily armed Black Sun's guards in suits on either side. And coming down the walkway away from the shuttle towards the Rancor Club, we see the group. So, who do we see walking down this landing pad strip? I'd like to get a general description of your character, and then I'd also like to know what you're wearing for this soirée. Let's start off in the same order. We'll start off with Marcy. So tell us about Zethu. Who do we see here?
All right. Normally you would see Zethu Desh, your standard Arcanian offshoot, albino, very, very pale, entirely white skin with silver hair and colorless eyes. Normally her hair, usually fairly loose anyway, and slightly feathered over on one side. In this case, she's got it tied back neatly. It took some time. She's normally wearing whatever she's found in the back of her very, very messy closet, with a standard old flight jacket she stole off of someone somewhere from way back when. In this case, you see her in a black glittery gown that she looks just really pleased to be wearing. Just very excited to be wearing this outfit that's restricting her. She's wearing a sort of, for lack of a better word, gladiator style silver sandals that are strapped up to her knee. It's just where the dress comes down to. There's a bit of a slit on the side. But the lack of weapons, I think, is really what is pissing her off. She tried multiple ways to be like, can I fit a strap or something on the thigh, in the sleeves? And everyone's like, no, we can't have weapons in. This is terrible.
Yeah.
She's fairly average in height. She looks pretty good. She looks pretty imposing, I would say. But definitely this is not her usual style. She is faking it.
Yeah. A classy, confident lady who will do you a murder. So let's...
Were you talking about Zethu or me?
Yes. We move over from Zethu to Dr. Gom. Who do we see here?
You see a human male, maybe a little under average height, coming down. He's wearing the closest thing he could find to the suit that his dad used to wear back at fancy dinner parties back in Corellia. It's like a long, dark Imperial gray almost, jacket that goes about knee length. Closest slacks he could find to match. Closest black shoes you can find to match. Not particularly ordained, just nice and very form fitting. Mm-hmm. A nice, nice. They kind of went thrifting. Brown belt that kind of goes around with maybe some. They're empty, but little pouches on one side. He actually cleaned up his face a little bit. He never had I want to say he had a beard, but he had some rough and tough scruff. Yeah, shaved the best he could. But got some cheap hair gel, just enough to make it look like he actually takes care of himself. And he's walking, maybe he's used to this. This is maybe not his element now, but it was his element at one point. He seems in his element.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
Cool. So moving over from Dr. Gom, Ahesha, who do we see here?
So as your eyes move past Dr. Gom, they definitely move up And standing as by far the tallest member of the crew, you see Ahesha. She's got this deep coppery brown skin. She's got blue and white montrals and tails, and she is wearing this. And Togruta formal wear is pretty covering, I must say, modest. And so she's wearing that. She's not as uncomfortable as Zethu in it, even though it is not her preferred mode of dressing, but she was in the military, and military balls and such are a thing. But she's in a full sleeve maroon gown with intricate draping and these gold chains that go around the side. And I'll put a link in the Twitch chat for people who are curious. But the gold chains have a dual purpose for being in possibly a handle for tiny murder bears who need to get places.
Amazing. Speaking of, our view comes to land on Cheekra walking beside the group. And
Camera pans down and then pans down again.
We have to move down significantly, but who do we see here?
You see a surprisingly exposed and wearing a shockingly little amount of clothing, a small, angry looking Ewok with curly gray fur and a rust-colored traditional Ewok hood. And noticeably, this is the first time, I think, this may be the first time any of you have really seen Cheekra without clothing, and especially not their battle armor. There's a pretty significant burn scar on their left arm and shoulder, and then running up onto their neck. But toddling along, this is fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah. And then finally, we see accompanying the group, Caden Beale, your contact on Ord Mantell, a former comrade in arms of Ahesha's in the rebellion, and a former something more of Ahesha's in the rebellion, who is the one who directed you to this party in the first place. Beale was, of course, on Ord Mantell, working for the Republic as a mercenary, and intercepted some transmissions that seem to suggest an Imperial base somewhere on the planet, which might be where your target is. However, in order to get the exact fix on that base, you're going to have to get some code cylinders off of one of the Imperials. And they don't come out much, except for the occasional social gathering, such as this one, thrown by the Black Suns, who, oh, yes, you just rescued Caden Beale from, and in the process, murdered over a dozen of their henchmen, and blew up one of their warehouses. So have fun with that, I guess. Beale
self-defense.
is a good-looking human, normally blonde, but I think he has dyed his hair brown, so as to maybe pass by in this party. Ahesha, what is Caden's fancy party outfit?
Oh man, he's in a very, from his military days, I don't know how he has this, probably because he goes undercover, but he's in a very well-fitting space tux.
Sure.
Which fits him like a glove, but also doesn't stand out in any way. You know, like if a guy just wore a well-fitting black tux to a party to a black tie party, you're not gonna really stand out, but he's just gonna look really good. It's
cool.
He's put deliberate with the browning of the hair. He's trying to reduce the amount of personality that he shows off.
Yeah, and hopefully the Black Suns won't clock him. Does he look comfortable? The tux fits well. He looks good, but does he look comfortable, or is he a little more on edge here, do you think?
Caden's one of those guys who's just naturally comfortable in anything. You know, he's just that guy.
Yeah. So so I think he's got some ease to his walk. He's on alert, but he looks like somebody who feels that he is in control of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So you have stolen invitations to this party, enough for four. Listen, Cheekra, no offense, normal height guests. But don't worry, you have a plan for Cheekra. So your goal is to get into the party with the stolen invitations. You're gonna have to find the Imperials that are likely to be there, and somehow figure out how to get the code cylinders that they carry in their uniforms off of them. These should, if you are able to decode them, reveal the location, and hopefully even give access to their base, wherever it is on Ord Mantell. So, the first thing that we do in Scum and Villainy, as always, is we're going to do an engagement roll. So when we start a job, we do an engagement roll. This is a basic fortune roll that accounts for basically any factors that set you up in a good spot or set you back, and will determine what your position is at the start of the action. So first thing we're going to do is pick a plan and provide a detail. I think we've kind of already gone over this. I am going to suggest that this is either a deception plan or a social plan. Do we like one of those? I think the question here is, if it's a deception plan, are you assuming false identities? If it's a social plan, you can go in as yourselves. There's no reason that your names would be, like, flagged under the black sun. So you can present yourselves as yourselves.
They did have us on camera.
They did.
We're going deception.
They did, but they have no way to connect that to your names unless they do some searching, which they may have done, but they may have not. You don't know.
I vote deception.
Okay.
Cheekra votes deception as well.
So everybody is going to need an assumed identity, which is connected to your invitation.
Cheekra stole a bunch for us, right?
Yes. So Cheekra stole you a plethora of invitations. So what is everybody's? What's everybody's fake ID for this party?
And I didn't even get blood on any of them.
Hold on, name generator.
Do they have to be the names that were on? I'm assuming on the invites then.
They could be, or you could have, modified the invites.
Probably. I think I can hit you up with Zethu's assumed identity. So, Arcanian offshoots, they don't have like the best reputation, I guess, like on their homeworld.
Sure.
They're also literally an artificially created life form that are sometimes either used for manual labor or for other unsavory things. So, given that this is both an Imperial soirée that's hosted by the Black Suns, and that they already are not fond of non-humans, she's gonna play up some of those aspects of what certain jobs some offshoots have. So she's gonna go by Crystal.
Okay.
Because she looks like a crystal. And probably very exotified. Hence the dress.
What about the rest of you?
Ahesha is, well, the Tigruda, you kind of see them around and about, but they're not really, I don't know how much attention humans pay to them. They're common enough to where they don't draw too much of a side glance, but also not, like they're not exotic in quite the same way as other races. Like they're just around
Sure.
and ignored. There's
Yeah.
not, but they're not quite human. So she's just picked. Honestly, she's just using the name of like a friend when she was a kid, which is like a mix of names. And so her name is Zomna Kazi tonight. Zomna.
Okay.
Then I need to write down Zethu is Crystal.
Gom, what about you?
Yeah, I want to just do Palm Gilserg.
Well, people on your ship are gonna be like, nah, bro.
Well, Wesley wants to do that. Gom,
What?
I don't know.
It's
Gom
funny.
would.
It's funny, but Ahesha would have been like, really?
Yeah, sure. He's just gonna use the names of one of his favorite teacher from like a grade school.
Is this the fucking security questions on to get back in your account?
Your favorite second grade teacher. So tonight he is
Your first model of speeder.
Bell Aaron.
Bell Aaron.
I swear to God, if you say you're a prince, I'm gonna leave.
If that's a reference, that is unintentional.
The Fresh Prince of Bel Aaron.
That's what I thought you were doing.
I wish I was so clever.
Well, I'm sure you will be chilling out, Max, and relaxing out. Cool. Cheekra. What's Cheekra's cover?
Do I have one?
Do you?
I mean, Cheekra's gonna be like, no, don't call me by my name. I'm definitely known to the Imperials are aware of my presence. I have had certain high-speed kinetic interactions with them. But,
are you Gom's plaything or Ahesha's? Whose pet are you tonight? I apologize.
Cheekra is no one's pet.
Whose pet are you pretending to be tonight?
I hate all of this already. Who do we think it makes the most sense? I feel like Zethu's clearly got a thing going. I feel like Gom plays up the Imperial human first centric attitude. Ahesha's kind of like, if you pair us off, then I think Gom makes the most sense, actually, because I think if you pair the Ewok with Ahesha, it's going to be very dramatic.
Caden.
Oh, Caden. Yeah.
Yeah.
Caden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Caden.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Keep forgetting he's here. He's so pretty. I forget that he is not just statue in the corner of the room.
Listen, I appreciate the
literally is
confidence, but we
halfway
do have a
between a
job to do.
Hemsworth
I'd
and an
appreciate it if
Evans.
you weren't distracted.
I was literally going to make a joke about what Chris he was, so I'm so happy that apparently we were thinking the same thing.
Yep. He's halfway between a Hemsworth and an Evans.
Yeah. I think I'm actually also, voice-wise, I'm kind of going for, I realize now, the voice that Chris Evans does in the Scott Pilgrim movie. A little bit.
Oh my God! Wow!
Right?
Wow!
A little.
Okay.
Perfect.
She
All
told
right.
me it's more.
Cool.
Roll call.
So you have your plan. We're good for our engagement roll.
God.
So our
Good seems
engagement
like a strong
roll is so we start with one die, obviously, just for sheer luck. I think I will give you. I want to give you +1 because you look the part. I'm going to give you +1 because you have the invitations and the cover stories. and I'm gonna take one away because of the kerfuffle that you made with the Black Suns previously. So you're gonna sit at 2 because there's a chance they might ID you as suspicious persons. So this is gonna be a fortune roll.
But Cheekra
2.
is small and cuddly and
Suspicious.
in every way above suspicion. Do you really think that I am a
every
small
way.
cuddly bear who
Cheekra,
do
tell me the
anything?
truth. Are you really not singing, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be
And I think you mean everything
There is
below
nothing
suspicion.
to see here. I am below the radar. always.
Cheekra is above suspicion, below suspicion,
All around suspicion.
just the ecumenical suspicion. So who
I
wants to
am
give
Commander
me this roll?
Cheekra, and this is my favorite suspicion on the
2d6.
Citadel. I want to do it.
Do it.
I said I don't want to do it.
Oh.
I thought you said I want to do it.
No.
Who does want to do it?
is it a straight roll or do we add anything to it?
It was the things that you added were your advantages, disadvantages.
So that
So
was
we're-
+2 -1, so 2d6
So we're
total.
at 2d6, yeah.
I'll do it.
Oof.
Well, that's a 5 and a 6.
Hey,
All right.
I
Yeah.
like that.
With that 6, it is
Pew, pew.
smooth sailing.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
So we get this cool shot of the 5 of you walking up this landing pad walkway to the entrance to the club. You get
No
to
one say that word correctly.
No, it's the clerk.
well.
Into the
Listen, I have the ability to say club, like a club, but
Mhm.
I don't have the ability to say anything but the club.
You're going to. If it's you're going to or I went to, it's the club.
I see.
It's the
I
club.
just want to be very clear that I wish I had said Cheek was wearing boots, because then I could say boots with the fur.
Yeah. Well, listen,
Too late.
you've still got opportunities in the future.
You guys have already heard the horrible pun. Honestly, that's everything I needed.
Great. So, with your engagement roll, you're in a great spot. As you approach the door, there are a couple of Black Sun security guards there. It's actually a pretty big party. It's about eight guards. More of these, men and women in suits of various determinations. I think there's some humans. There's some Twi'leks. There's probably a Togruta. There might be like a Rhodian or two thrown in there, mix of guys, and the one of the security guys as you approach holds out a hand, says, "Hey there, folks, can I see invitations?"
Sure thing. Pulling him out.
And he looks over the data pad that you present, goes down. All right, looks like everything is in order. You're all on the list. If you could please remove any weapons that you might have, the Black Sun will check those for you. There's some very secure weapons lockers right here, and he points over to some secure lockers with electronic locks on them. Ahesha, maybe this is something you take note of for a second. We will keep your weapons here while you're inside. Weapons are, of course, forbidden for anyone while in the Rancor Club. And the Black Suns 100% guarantee the peace and your safety. So, any weapons you have on you, if you don't mind, we'll give you a ticket. Do not lose the ticket. Okay? If I give you the ticket back, and you don't come back here and give me the ticket, you're not gonna get your blasters. The ticket is very important, okay?
It's because the tickets is going to be what stops us.
Do you say that aloud?
No, that was Marcy making a joke.
So is anybody gonna hand over any weapons? There is a scanner that is behind this guy that you will have to walk through as well, just so you're aware.
I do believe I said that she did not bring her weapons with her because she can't fit them in the stupid dress.
Yeah, everybody should select their load at this point.
Oh, lost my pencil.
Everybody is pretty much going to have to be at light load here unless there's something like... unless you can give me some, like, exceptional justification. Light load is, in Scum and Villainy, just sort of normal walking around like any civilian. So you can maybe conceal a couple of pieces of equipment on you, but in general, you look like a normal person. 5, normal load is, like, normal for going on a job. So, you're outfitted, you might have some armor on, you might have a visible blaster, you look like you're ready for some shit. And heavy load is like, you are going to get into some shit, and if somebody saw you on the street, they would probably be afraid of you. Heavy load is like, paramilitary walking down the street.
This is the only time that Cheekra's ever not in heavy load.
Yeah.
Do you think I can conceal some spy tools in my fur?
I mean, you can select 3 load.
So
that would, it's a 1. Oh,
you don't have to pick yet. You're just picking your load.
Okay. I would like to. I mean, what's the disadvantage of selecting 5 at that point?
They will be immediately suspicious of you.
Oh yeah, so I'll take 3.
Yeah.
And they're only asking us to check in weapons, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anything else you might have on you is theoretically fine.
Well, it would be very weird for the type of person Ahesha's pretending to be to have weaponry on her. So.
And actually retcon that. I'll take a light load. Just the 1.
Okay.
A light load is 3.
Light is 3.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Light
Yeah,
is 3.
Oh, light is 3. 5 is normal. 6 is heavy. Oh, okay. I lied.
Yep. So is anybody not taking a light load? Okay. Cool. So does anybody have weapons that they will turn over at this point? And is anybody concealing weapons that you're going to try to get through? Or are you just doing it straight up on the level?
Cheekra is a weapon.
That's fair. We've seen Cheekra.
Yeah, Ahesha's weapons are her fists, so
Cool.
it's fine.
I like that face, Zethu.
Well, the best weapons I always say are the ones where the person wielding them doesn't know they have them. So let's just see what happens.
Yeah. Let's indeed see what happens. Okay, so the security guard looks a little crestfallen that he doesn't get to give you a ticket after he gave the whole speech about the ticket, and he's like, "All right, well, looks like everything's in order. Welcome to the Rancor Club." And he stands aside and gestures you through the doors
Lord Mantel Brooklyn,
and the scanner.
I love it.
And you enter. The interior of the Rancor Club, as you come through the doors, I think you're up on a sort of wraparound balcony, and the central space goes down and up a couple of stories. It's this elegant space. The ground level is packed with these well-dressed gangsters. You can sort of tell they're the sort of people who have very fancy, expensive-looking clothes, but kind of rough faces. Like, they look like people who are familiar with violence, but they also look like people who are familiar with luxury. There is a stage, of course, set up on, let's say, the second level balcony, and there's a Biff band playing away on various wacky instruments. And I think a lot of the sort of interior decor of this club is like gold Art Deco kinds of things. There are Black Sun security guards everywhere in here. They're along the walls, they're at every doorway, at the stairs, at the bar, beside the stage. Lot of guys, and they don't have any visible weapons, but you can tell they're packing. Everybody, give me one more detail about the interior of the Rancor Club? Who wants to give me another detail?
There's a dance floor situation going on, right, with by the wooden stage. There's
Sure.
also these plush low red couches in like semicircles around the sides.
Cool.
So it's more laid back than, your cocktail table sort of event would be. You kind of already get the vibe that this isn't like a formal networking event. This is a party.
Yeah.
I think that there's also an upper level. You can see a few people hanging off of, leaning over the railings, but beyond that, there's some curtains, and it's very obvious that you have to pass through another group of guards in order to get access to the upstairs level.
Okay.
Like a VIP area.
Cool.
Oh yeah, with the red carpet, not carpet, but the red felt things.
Yeah. I think in like Star Wars, it's like some sort of like holo thing, right? Like there's a couple of pylons and there's just this like light between them. All right.
I think that there are small, like smaller than astromech droids zipping around delivering things. as
Mouse
well.
droids?
Like slightly larger than mouse droids, but yes.
Okay.
Like
Are they
mouse droid bottoms with like little I can carry things tops.
great? So they're like zipping around with like serving trays with drinks and canapes and like somebody's, coat, taking it back to the coat check or what have you. Great.
On the same floor as the main dance floor, there's a long U bar with every beverage from every planet that you could imagine stacked high, with lots of hollow decorations kind of scattered across the countertop. And it is packed.
All right. Cool. So this is the scene that you walk into. What do you do?
Oh, this plan better work. I think is what Zethu kind of exhales to the main group as we step inside.
Don't worry, it'll work. We got this. You're doing great.
Yeah, just keep your eyes out for imps, okay?
Yeah.
Always.
That's kind of the whole point of this getup. And she just does one quick adjustment before it's like, all right, sooner we get this over with, sooner we get our payday. And she just sort of goes, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm gonna need a drink for this, and makes a beeline for the bar.
Sure.
I think you see Cheekra go just be like, yes, please, but then just kind of like and look
Nice
up
background switch.
and looks up at our fine upstanding spy boy. Our Evansworth.
Yeah, Evansworth.
All right, well, come on. Don't say anything,
Is that
okay?
is that his cover?
Yeah.
Evansworth. Chris Evansworth.
Yeah, we'll say
Evan
he's
Chrisworth.
Chrisworth.
I hate it.
Evan Chrisworth.
Evan Chrisworth.
Evan Chrisworth. Great. That's his cover now.
I hate it.
Oh.
So Zethu, you approach the bar, and as you do, a familiar little face pops over.
Yes.
Hello, how can I help you? I am Fredu, bartender.
I just sort of give a nod.
And
Just
it
like,
is
"Ah, shit,
it is
don't say
Fidu,
anything."
the same bartender from the Starlight Cantina, who is now wearing a little bow tie and working the bar at the Rancor Club.
It's a freelance bartender.
I love it.
What can I get for you fine people?
God, I need to have like a list of the Star Wars drinks up. I had no idea that I was going to need to have like complete recall over that. But I think
Just put space in front of it.
Yeah.
Zethu orders some sort of whiskey.
Yes. I give you top shelf Coruscant whiskey. One moment.
Whoa.
And Fridu, like, I think you can see has some sort of little like hover thing that he's in at this point, and shunks some levers around and over to the wall of liquors and up, bodily grabs a whiskey bottle, wrestles it into his little hover chair, and whoops down, and then pours you a glass, Zethu, and slides it across the bar.
Cheers. And she she goes to like knock it back, and then she's like, I can't do that here, and she just takes a sip, and then like as she was just kind of like they've been through some rehearsals for this, she leans against the bar and makes it look like she's scanning the room, specifically for imps.
Sure.
If any of those idiots actually came in uniform.
About 5 minutes or so after Zethu goes up, Ahesha will go to a... Okay, just so I can remember. I was a little busy doing this. How many bars are there?
There's one U-shaped bar in the center of the main floor.
Okay, so she'll go to the other end of the U, and she will order given who she's dressed as, she will order a space champagne cocktail. Not Ahesha's choice, but it is Zomna's choice. And she is... You notice that she is standing incredibly tall, even for herself. And then you notice, I forgot to mention this, she's definitely a giant woman in heels.
Sure.
Because she's leaning into the eye tower over everyone here. Deal with it. Life.
Yeah. And Fridu pours and mixes your cocktail. I think there's probably... well, you don't shake a champagne cocktail. You float it. But... You know, there's like a glass.
It'd be funnier if you did, though.
Yeah. There's like a champagne coupe that is half the size of Fidu, and Fidu, pours this in. Yes, very good choice. I give you high quality. These grapes, very rare from Dantooine. Good grapes. And shumps this over to you.
And then she's gonna do the same kind of but instead of leaning against the bar, she's standing very regally, sipping her champagne cocktail and looking bored but interested.
Mm-hmm.
Like bored, but you know that look at the bar where you're like, I'm over this, but I'm also totally available for conversation.
The please come up to me, I'm cool look. Yeah.
I'm glad we all know that look.
Gom, what about you? Are you sticking with anybody? Or are you going off by yourself?
Gom won't go to the bar because since Ahesha and Zethu are already checking. Well, not Zethu and not Ahesha are checking it out, but he'll go check out maybe an area within eye shot of the bar in case they like something, in case something happens and one of them needs to move. So. I guess are those is the seating area on this floor?
There is a seating area, yeah. There's some of those
he'll go
leather couches that we described.
Yeah, so he'll kind of look like he's just, obviously just checking out, like what's available, but he'll kind of search through who's sitting at the leather chair areas.
Cool. And Cheekra, what are you up to with Caden? I think Caden probably whispers to you at some point, like, "All right, listen, Cheekra, I'll follow your lead, but we gotta make it look like it's the other way around, okay? You're the bounty hunter here. I trust you."
Cheekra immediately sits down and just kind of does this really long extra yoga stretch, and then just kind of like gnaws a little bit, like does the most ridiculous grooming, and then gets up and toddles in the general direction of the couches.
Okay.
Like just kind of very clearly like really hamming up like this kind of more what they think humans think of Ewoks, that
Sure.
they're just barely animals.
Sure.
Or
And
they're
I think this like actively makes Caden uncomfortable. He's like, "Oh, you really have to go that far?" But he, sort of follows
good
along
dude.
casually. And he's sort of like anybody who's sort of looking at you, he's sort of like nodding at them, like yes, this is cool that I have this pet. All right, let's get some rolls, I think, at this point. So everybody is kind of doing similar things. Do we want to call this a group action, or would you prefer to kind of break this into some individual scenes and then come back together with what you've learned?
The argument could be made for some individual moments.
Cool. So let's do that. I'm setting some clocks.
Oh dear.
So
Oh Lord.
you are going to have,
Oh.
first of all, I think this is a 6-segment clock to locate the Imperials at the party and get the code cylinders off of them. And then we will have... Well, you started out in a strong position, so I think this is also going to be a 6-segment clock for somebody. Who it is depends on the specifics of the situation, to detect you as interlopers at this party.
Fun.
Detect and get cylinders. Cool. All right, so let's stick with let's go over to Ahesha, who is looking open and cool and interesting at the bar. What do you want to roll?
Consort?
I think consort is probably the best option for what you're doing. Yeah, like you are looking open to conversation, right?
Yeah. Yep. And since I only have, well, let's just make this interesting. Is there? So I could push myself, or
Mm-hmm.
I could make a deal with the dark side.
You could. I will tell you, you are in, I think, a controlled position. You got in no problem. Nobody has any reason to be suspicious. You look the part. You're cool. You're collected. You got your cocktail at the bar. So that's a controlled position. And I think you are, because you don't have any explicit connections here, I'm going to call your effect limited. So,
And a dark side bargain would improve which one of those?
So, Dark Side Bargain will actually give you another die.
Oh, wow. There's no way to improve my effect, is there? unless there's assistance.
You can improve your effect with either a teamwork move of some sort can improve your position or effect. You can also improve your effect with equipment or gear of some sort if there's some way that you're using that.
No, okay. I think I'm just gonna, at least to start out, I'll just roll. It's fine.
Okay. Cool. And
roll.
remember, your gambits have reset to 1, so you have 1 gambit to spend currently.
That's a 5.
Okay, 5. Mixed success. So, there's going to be some sort of minor consequence or complication. Okay. So I think you are successful in attracting the notice of someone, but that person's helpfulness is going to be questionable. So
dear.
you are
Am I talking to a psychic vampire?
so you're at the bar, and this Rhodian in a white tux comes up, orders a drink, and then as he begins to sip, sort of pretends to take notice of you. He has clearly already taken notice of you. Turns and says, "Yeah, hey there. Don't think I've seen you around here before."
My first time on planet.
Oh, first time on planet, eh? Well, may I be the first to welcome you to Ord Mantell?
Why, thank you. You're very polite.
Vila. I go by Vila.
She'll just put out a cool hand. Hello, Vila. I am Zamnakazi.
Well,
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
charmed, I'm sure. And he takes your hand, kisses it with his, like, I don't know, they got like a weird little snoot.
Can we describe Rhodians?
Yeah,
for
Rhodians.
our audience?
Rhodians are the green
I had
guys.
to Google them.
Rhodians are green with big, usually red eyes and antenna. They are the kind of alien that Greedo in A New Hope was, the alien that Han
So cute.
shot
With
first
the big
at
thumb.
in the bar, which is canon.
Yeah.
Which is canon.
Which is canon. So, what brings you to Lord Mantell and to the Rancor Club?
This party, of course. What brings you here?
Well, the same. I'm in pretty good with the Black Suns.
Oh, do tell. I've always been so curious.
Well, been doing business with them for quite a number of years, running spice on the side, and Baron Ordo thinks I'm a pretty good operator.
All right. Now, just to recap, our goal here is to find cylinders
Yes.
on the what now?
Imperials.
On the I'm sorry, what?
The Imperials.
We need to find cylinders. So I will definitely be scanning him visually,
Mm-hmm.
but in a way that makes it look like I'm checking him out. Like,
Interesting. So are you
and
looking
not like
are you looking to determine if this guy is an Imperial?
yeah, I'm trying because he says
Okay.
He's in with the Black Suns, but I don't know what's going on and who's in with whom and whether he's telling the truth.
Sure. So
And-
a recap for everybody. Based on what Caden told you, so the Imperials are operating clandestinely on Ord Mantell, on the planet. They have been paying off the Black Suns, the crime syndicate that controls the planet in actuality and operates pretty openly. The planet is, of course, on paper, ruled by the New Republic, but they are not the major power here. It's the crime syndicate. So the Imperials are paying off the crime syndicate to keep them undercover and under wraps from the New Republic while they do whatever it is they're doing on Ord Mantell. This guy is claiming to be in good with the Sons, the crime syndicate.
Yeah. And Ahesha isn't super hopeful.
Yeah.
Because he's not human.
He doesn't
But,
actually. I realize I have a mug with a Rhodian on it. That's the Rhodian.
Hey. Yeah.
Cute.
See, it's so good that I brought this mug. A visual aid. So, I will say, you are pretty much immediately you're able to determine, like, surface inspection. It is incredibly unlikely that this guy would be an Imperial, or with the Imperials. But, you know, you could attempt to dig a little deeper or see if he has some sort of further connection.
Just hedging her bets, she's not super hopeful about a Rhodian. Like, so she will attempt to extricate herself from conversation when an appropriate amount of time has passed, as Gom has taught her.
How do you do this? I want to see this.
Oh dear. So after like 5 minutes have passed, she will be like, "Oh, please excuse me," and then she'll see another Togrutan across the way, be like, "I believe that is a friend of mine from high school. I must make my pleasantries." Just walk away because all Togrutans know each other.
Oh yeah, of course. If you want to chat more, Velo will be here. And he sort of leans against the bar with his drink.
Yeah, she definitely pulled the "we all know each other" card.
Let's pop over to Gom. I think Gom, Caden, and Cheekra are all sort of now moving through this seating area. So, Gom, what are you on the lookout for here?
Okay, so any sign of Imperial based off dress. Specifically, if Wesley remembers correctly, the admiral that was here was based off the 17th Fleet.
Yep, that is correct.
So maybe he doesn't know specifically what like any of their specific dress code, but he's at least familiar with like Imperial Navy like dress codes or maybe like medals or ornaments or anything like that. So maybe anything with the dress related to the Imperial Navy. That's what he has an eye out for.
Yeah, totally. What do you want to roll for that?
I think study would make sense.
Study makes very good sense to me.
Yeah.
So your position for this is controlled for similar reasons to Ahesha's role. And I think your effect is going to be standard.
Sure. Only one die. I'm not going to push myself for anything. I'm just like looking.
Okay.
And yeah. 5.
5. Okay.
I don't like that smile, David.
Hey, Gom.
Oh no. Hi.
Tell me about your friend. Let's see here. Cran.
Oh no.
What does Cran look like?
Cran, another human male, grew up in the core worlds. Sorry, y'all. Like a pretty traditional kind of like, tall, like athletic, guy. Crane was was Gom's best friend and roommate in undergrad back on Corellia. And they kind of went their separate ways. He went to med school, and Cran, I don't know, did whatever Cran ended up doing. They always like kept in touch, but it's been a while. Hasn't really talked to him since he left Corellia for a misunderstanding, as he likes to say.
So, you spot Cran lounging on one of these couches in one of these sort of circular couch areas, and he is wearing an Imperial naval officer's uniform.
Ah, shit.
What do you do?
Geez. Well, Wesley's gonna be nervous. But Gom's gonna quickly go to the bar and grab, or remember where Crane is. Go to the bar real quick, and get a Corellian cocktail, like a famous, the standard drink everyone gets on Corellia. And then he's gonna kind of go back to the lounge area and just be walking around and accidentally, get noticed or notice Cran and be like, Cran?
Is that Gom? Is that Gom Pilsnerg?
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in years. And he'll walk up.
Bloody hell, man! It's absolutely blooming amazing to see you.
Incredible. He'll go in for
comes
the
up and he's like gonna grab both of your hands and start to do like an intense handshake.
Yeah, he'll reciprocate the enthusiasm 100%. He goes, man, all the places. What are you doing here, man?
Well,
wait, hold on. How you been?
Yes, of course. Well, I have had some interesting times, let me tell you.
I imagine.
Yes, well, I find myself here in the employ of the 17th Imperial Fleet, formerly of the Empire, of course. And
as an officer?
Well, yes, I made officer after, the last one was killed, and one before that, and the one before that, and his predecessor, and her predecessor. Well, we've fallen on hard times.
Wow, I always knew you would make it big, buddy. Never a doubt in my mind.
Well, same to you. Though, last I heard, you were fleeing the authorities on Corellia.
Yeah, things got a little heated back home. I won't even lie. Made a medical mistake. Happens to everybody.
And the New Republic came down on you hard, didn't they?
No, it was even a little before that. Oh. But I had to flee to until I can clear my name. But was able to get everything clear, and I've just been just doing some private practice ever since.
Oh, fantastic! Are you working for the Suns now?
No. Coincidence. I was here with another client. Happened to kind of get entangled by accident. Helped heal, patch up one of the lieutenants, and to kind of pay me back. They threw me an invite.
Huh? No kidding. Well, this
Easy.
isn't the sort of party that invites just get thrown around. You must be working for a very well-connected client.
I wish I could tell you, but confidentiality.
Of course, I understand, doctor and all that. Always knew you'd make it, man.
Thanks. I couldn't have done without you, man. You got me. We had a lot of fun. You got me through some of those hard times. Rode my back at night, partying too hard. You know how it is. Could never keep up with you back in the day.
Well, let's see if you can keep up with me now. Why don't I introduce you to some of my associates here? The Suns.
Excellent.
They are firecrackers, let me tell you. And he started to sort of steer you over towards the couch area where I wouldn't say raucous but spirited group of Black Suns folks are living it up, talking animatedly
Sure. Are they
drinking.
clearly like already inebriated? At least maybe tipsy.
Tipsy for sure. They're not smashed or anything. It's early.
Okay,
in the night.
sure.
Yeah. And Cran is going to start to sort of like walk you through, you know, everybody, person by person. You're just hit with this wave of names that are completely meaningless. As one person after another is introduced and then promptly pivots away to talk to somebody else.
Sure. He'll make a, you know, I'll fail the quiz later joke. Ha 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 ha. And then he'll, you know, start to play catch up with his drink.
Yeah. So what's your plan here?
He's just gonna, maybe not all right now, but like over the course, he's just gonna keep moving with Cran, keep trying to get Cran to keep drinking and just make sure that Cran is just as drunk as possible by whenever they need to make a move later.
All right, let's move over to Zethu. So we leave, you know, Cran and Gom. Cran talking excitedly, you know, sitting Gom down, puts an arm around him. People start sort of like grabbing drinks off of passing droids and shoving them into your hands, even though you're not finished with your existing drink, and is just over the moon to see you. Moving across back over to the bar, to Zethu. Zethu, what are you doing?
Zethu is carefully sipping her whiskey while she leans sort of backwards against the bar, and she's surveying the room. I think she sees.
Yeah, I will say explicitly, you have a vantage point on what just went down with Cran and Gom. Or with Gom, you don't know about Cran specifically. But somebody in an Imperial uniform just very excitedly greeted Gom, seemed to recognize him, and brought him into his little social gathering. Yeah,
that's great. Zethu is very happy to see that, because it might mean that they get out of here sooner. And I think what she's doing is like there's so much noise in this place. There's the sheer like volume of people that are here. So she's gonna take a breath and do a different kind of survey. She's gonna let her instincts decide the direction she needs to go in.
Yes. This sounds like a tune. Is that what you would like to roll? Great.
And wouldn't you know it, after all of my escapades in that last episode, I did level up in that.
Great. So you're in a controlled position, but your effect will be limited.
That's a 6 and a 3.
Great. Okay. So you do it. This is very interesting. You're surveying the scene. You watch Gom join this little social circle. I think you can see Beal has also noticed this and is kind of like hovering around that area as well, kind of keeping an eye out left and right with Cheekra by his side. And you just feel this sudden miscellaneous impulse to kind of glance up. And you glance up a couple of stories, and you see that red curtained area, that cordoned off area, a couple of stories up. And there's these, like I said, these open balconies in this room, and you can see very clearly the red curtains. And you see a figure, a sort of elegant figure. I think at this distance, what you can make out is it is probably a Twi'lek with a red complexion. She's wearing a sort of a shiny all black getup. Pants, sleeveless top, and you can see her sort of red arms are exposed, and I think she has some maybe long black gloves. And you see her sort of sashay up to the VIP area, and your eyes are just locked on her. There's just something about this person that sort of pulls at you in a way you can't quite put your finger on or explain. And you see her look over her shoulder down into the sort of main area near the bar where you are, and you can just barely see her eyes, but you get this just flash of eye contact for just a moment, and it's like this jolt of electricity. And then she turns, and one of the bouncers lets her beyond the holographic cordon and through the red curtains.
Wow. So what are we now?
What are you?
Yeah, Zethu was not prepared for that, but knows that she feels like, her instincts don't lead her astray. If something is telling her that she needs to go talk to this woman, she's going to try to talk to this woman.
Totally.
And if that means breaking into the VIP section, so be it.
So be it. What do you do?
I down the rest of my drink, and I head on over casually to examine this hollow barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Is it guarded by any physical people, or is it just sort of this barrier that is checking people as it passes through?
There's a couple of bouncers.
Interesting. Might need to do some more. Nah. In my very infamous words that I say, and in my casual D&D campaigns, I'm about to do something stupid.
Do it.
I'm gonna walk right over to the line between the plebeians and the VIP.
Yeah. Between the IP and the VIP.
Indeed, and I'm quite literally going to say that, it was requested that I meet one of the sons up there.
All right, let's have a roll. What are you gonna roll for this?
Possibly command. I need to get up there.
I think for command,
Now.
you're gonna need to, you're gonna need to be a little more strident.
Yeah,
and
I think
authoritative.
like Zethu is like just walking right on over, being like I'm supposed to be up there now, and she's just holding out her invite,
Okay.
like very forcefully, like today. Please.
Great. So give me a command roll. I think your position is risky, and your effect is gonna be standard.
That's a 6 and a 5.
Ooh,
And a
very
4,
good. Okay.
But there were 3 of them.
So the bouncer, I think, like, she glances at your data pad for a second, but like your tone is so imposing that she's very quickly just like, oh yes, of course, and pulls aside or presses the button that moves
like,
aside
look at
the hollow.
the fresh burns on my face in this dress. Let me through that door.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Please enjoy. And she sort of
Thank you.
backs off a little bit from you. And
Great. I snatch the invite back very forcefully and make my way on up.
And she, the other bouncer, parts the curtain for you, and you enter the VIP lounge. of the Rancor
I think I take
Club.
one final look behind me at either trying to catch like Caden, Gom, or Ahesha. Anyone from my crew, really, just to be like, goodbye.
Yep. Ahesha will spot this because she's not actually on her really on her way to talk to the Tigruda unless they look promising. But she's kind of just mostly getting away from the other person, so she'll spot this.
And then I go upstairs.
Yeah. So you climb these stairs, and you enter the VIP area. And I think as soon as you do, you hear a voice off to your side. Well, well, well. You're certainly an interesting one. And that's where we're going to take a break. When we come back, after our break, we will see who it is who's taken such an interest in Zethu. And we'll see if our bounty hunters can manage to execute their party thievery. We'll be back in just a bit here on ManaPot Studios with Flights of Fandom, a Longshot. So, we return to the scene of the Rancor Club. We are in the midst of this Black Suns sponsored fancy party. The scene is a well-appointed, large club filled to the brim with partygoers of all sorts, all dressed in their best finery, and all, more likely than not, there because at some point they shot somebody to death with a blaster or punched them in the face until they died. So, when last we left our group, Ahesha had met a somewhat unsavory Rhodian at the bar and taken her leave. Gom had run into an old friend, his college roommate, in fact, Cran, who now appears to be some sort of low-level Imperial officer with the Imperial remnant that has made their base on this planet, on Ord Mantell, and managed to get in good with his social circle. Caden Beale and Cheekra, posing as Beale's pet Ewok, are sort of moving about the fringes of that smaller social knot, trying to keep an eye on things and hopefully have Gom's back in case things get dicey. And Zethu Desh has intimidated her way into the Rancor Club VIP lounge, following a mysterious Twi'lek woman who has some sort of connection to her. Not sure what yet. We'll find out. Let's cut over to Cheekra. Cheekra, what are you and Caden up to right now?
I think that actually, I believe that our good Zamna has something to say first.
As Cheekra and Caden walk around, Cheekra will spot Zamna slowly making her way towards Caden, and she will turn to Caden, and while Cheekra is in earshot, ask, "May I have this dance?" Which essentially allows Cheekra the freedom of movement, because obviously you can't take your teddy bear on a dance floor.
I think Caden has to say, like, slightly loudly for the benefit of the surrounding, anybody who's within earshot. Well, yes, I'd be honored, of course. I'm going to have to leave my pet. Be good. Please.
And You may find some crystals upstairs if you look hard enough. She'll just say quietly to Cheekra as she and Caden turn towards the dance floor.
So we, I want to follow this one. So I think we sweep away with Ahesha and Caden on the floor. And you're dancing to this music played by the Biff band on the stage. There are lights sparkling overhead. The dance floor is crowded but not packed with other elegantly appointed dancing couples of various sorts. And Caden leans in and says, "So, you learned anything?"
No, nothing. Don't even know who to talk to. This is really not my scene.
Yeah. Who could have guessed? Picture us back in the trenches of the rebellion, right? A couple of grunts, up to our elbows in mud, slogging it through the jungles of some backwater world. Look at us now, huh?
Hey, you? If I remember right, you did pretty well in those military balls. Rubbing elbows with anyone you needed to.
I did okay.
No, Marcy, no!
Elbows.
Sorry. I see her cracking up over there at military balls.
You pick up a thing or two. You probably could have stood to learn a thing or two yourself, Ahesha. Though
You were always better at the social things. I was better with my hands.
Yeah, no kidding. If you got rid of some of your rough edges, can't say I'd be happy about that.
Hey, if I got rid of my rough edges, how'd I get you out of the scraps you always get into?
Why didn't you join the Republic? After the rebellion, Ahesha. Why'd you go off on your own? Never could figure it.
Really? I think you, of anyone, would know that the last thing I'd ever want is to be tied down.
Yeah, but there's a whole galaxy out there. And,
I know. There's a whole galaxy out there.
You always gotta do it your own way. You always did.
Isn't that what made you chase me in the first place?
It is. And he twirls you out. And then back in. He gets a look in his eye, I think, for a second. What about me? I guess I can figure why you left the rebellion. Why you never went back to the Republic. Why didn't we ever get back together?
You didn't seem like to be tied down either. Has that changed?
People change. It's a whole different galaxy, like I said.
Well,
You stay in the same place, you stagnate. You lose yourself. Keep moving forward. Learn who you are again and again. Maybe get somewhere.
Caden Beale, I think you might be getting wise in your old age.
Nah, not that old yet. And he sort of swoops you around for a dip. And then I think the music picks up a little bit. And we will follow across to Cheekra. Cheekra, what are you doing?
Cheekra has talked silently to themselves for several seconds. Cheekra has continued to kind of just do a mosey meander, like going around, poking at stuff, making little noises, like, oh. and will grab somebody's drink when they're not looking, and just kind of toss that back, and then go a little bit further towards this in the direction of the La VIP area, that velvet hollow cordon.
Yep.
And snag somebody else to drink and drink that while they're not looking. And then when the moment is right, they are going to try to slip past these guards, because barriers that tall.
You can just walk
not-
right under.
Yeah, I could just walk right under it.
Oh, that skulk.
Let's see if you can walk under their keen eyes as well. What do you want to roll for this? I'm
Limbo.
guessing
I would like to roll Skulk.
Skulk seems like a good choice. So this is going to be risky, and your effect will be standard.
All right. I'm trying to figure out if it's possible to push myself for this, because I really don't want to be caught.
You can do that, yeah. Just pay the stress and you're good.
Okay, I will push myself for this, which will put me at 4 dice.
Okay.
Also, I really just want to roll 4 dice. Very satisfying.
Roll those boys.
That was worth it, because that is a single 6, a 4, a 3, and a 2.
Great. With that 6, you do it. Tell me what it looks like as you slip under the cordon and pass the bouncer's notice.
I think that there is like a little bit of a disturbance as somebody realizes that their drink has been stolen back and to the left, and the bouncers kind of scope in on that, and Cheekra just kind of does this kind of little, just drops down on all fours and scuttles through. It's honestly like right in front of them, but it's kind of dim, and they're so far below their field of vision that it just they don't even clock it in their peripherals.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
It's very brazen, honestly.
So, you slip past the curtain and up the steps into the VIP lounge. The VIP lounge of the Rancor Club has, I think, some downbeat music. It's a little dimmer than the main room. There are the same sort of semicircular plush leather couch setups around tables, which I think are floating with little rims of light around the edges, and each has a floating chandelier above it. And there are these sort of curtains and hangings along the walls, very plush, expensive sorts of fabrics. And there are a small number of people milling about in this more contained space. I think, Cheekra, you very quickly get eyes on Zethu, who seems to be having a conversation. She's having a conversation with this person by the door.
Which I just want to say, Cheekra is definitely staying stealthy and is going to slip into the curtains that are almost designed for a small, fuzzy little skulker.
Yeah.
To hide behind and eavesdrop and gaze upon their prey with their grubby little eyes.
Mm-hmm. So you slip behind the curtain, but not before you put eyes on the person that Zethu is talking to. Cheekra, tell me about Akate Nizoa.
Oh no. Okay. Well, that's unideal. I didn't put that in this doc, but
do it live.
She's an enforcer for a certain group of people that deal with a certain acquirement and movement of things that go boom, zip, zap, pew, 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 and other such things. and Cheekra has crossed paths with her several times. And in one occasion, blades.
What does she look like?
I believe you're gonna make me remember the things I made up. Rude. I believe she is a Twi'lek. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is the same person that that Zethu's talking to?
Well, maybe.
Oh God. That makes me anxious. I don't like that answer at all. She's got this kind of like it's, you can't tell whether it's this formal wear or just it's halfway between like tight leathers and formal wear. Like you're like, is that a corset or is that a combat vest? I'm not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of vibe going on. And for once does not have blades, does not have the vibro swords that Cheekra doesn't particularly feel like tangling with right now.
Well, this person is not dressed like that. She looks like a Kate, but her skin color is red, which a Kate's is not. But like her facial features, her bearing, she looks really similar.
That freaks me out. I don't like that.
Yeah, so you notice that.
Oh. I'm gonna go ahead and punch that dislike button. So Cheekra dislikes that intensely and is going to trying to keep this air of stealth up, is going to get behind some of these curtains and or hangings.
Okay. Are you trying to eavesdrop on this conversation, or are you
Absolutely.
continuing? Great.
I think the idea is to do a circle the room, but using these various obstacles as cover.
Okay.
Because they're like, it's like somebody designed a little Ewok playground, and goddamn right, Cheekra's going to use that.
Totally. So, Cheekra, you catch the beginning of this conversation that Zethu is having with this Akate-looking Twi'lek as you start to move through the curtains around the room and away from them. And you and we hear, as we did before the break, well, you are an interesting one. How do you respond, Zethu?
Well, it's not like I don't like being accused of being interesting.
But
Well, perhaps I should ask, interesting how?
I can't tell if you're being coy or if you genuinely don't know, which is fascinating.
And I can't tell if you're teasing me or if you're referring to, she's gesturing towards like her whole Arcanian offshoot self. Don't see many of these on planet.
Oh, no. You've got it all wrong. Nothing of that sort. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with your people.
Don't worry, I won't take offense to it.
Well,
We're not that interesting. So that's hence my confusion.
Indeed. I've been rude. I should introduce myself. Ziara Nazoa. And she extends a hand to you. Now, there's no reason that you wouldn't instantly recognize the name Ziara, as that is one of your two bounties on this world. You are after Velkaros, some sort of engineering prodigy working for the Imperials, And you are after Velkaros's bodyguard by the name of Ziara. She extends her hand.
Good to meet you. Zethu will also extend hers the minute she hears that name. Like, her attitude, like, doesn't shift noticeably, but, like, inside she's like, payday. The dollar signs are rolling.
Sure.
Those instincts, man. You can call me Crystal.
Crystal. Well, pleased to meet you. As I think I've noted, haven't seen you around here before. You're, not a familiar face at these little Black Sun shindigs.
No, but you know how some of these people are. They want to have somebody in here, keep things, exotic.
Oh, believe me, I know all about that.
I didn't want to presume, but I mean, Zethu knows about what Twi'leks can get up to.
Yeah. Twi'leks are, I think, widely, I guess, exoticized would be the term in the Star Wars universe. So she gives you this sort of like knowing, like, yeah, I get it. Who are you working for? If it is rude to ask.
Well, a number of people at the moment. I'm getting some popularity, I think. You know,
no kidding. You must be if you're here. VIP
I
lounge
just go
at the
where they tell
Rancor
me.
Club.
Well, you're here too.
That I am. Those ones, and she gestures across the room, where you see a number of humans in Imperial military garb, slightly formal, dress uniforms, Imperial Navy dress uniforms, they would be.
Have to imagine that we're really pissing them off being here right now.
Well, you might be. I'm not. I'm of use.
Really?
That's the trick with these Imperial types. They'll put up with just about anything as long as you make yourself useful in whatever they deem that is.
I find that's true for most humans.
They're not complicated people.
Not really. But, didn't really answer my question. What's so interesting?
She reaches out and sort of places fingers on your temples, or attempts to.
Not even gonna buy me a drink first.
A drink can be in the cards.
All right. I won't push her away.
Give me a roll here. We need to resolve a couple of things.
Oh, Boise.
I need a roll basically to conceal yourself from her. You are operating under a pseudonym which you have given her. You are being, not exceptionally coy, but a little bit coy about who you are. So I'm going to need some sort of roll for what you are doing to pull off this deception.
Would this be like a mental wall that you're talking about? Or just
It could be.
In that case, I would say a tune, but if we're talking just in terms of conversation, I would say this is a consort roll.
It is your call.
I'm going to roll with a tune simply because it's one of those. She's not giving me an indication that she's like sussed me out, but I'm just sort of like taken aback, and I got a little bit on guard with the buy me a drink first, whatever you're about to do.
Sure.
I mean, Twilix can be a little bit unpredictable. It's entirely likely she's about to like make out with me, and that's, you know, Twilix.
She could be doing any number of things, not limited to making out with you or reaching
Killing
down
me.
and snapping your neck.
Oh yeah. I've dealt with a few of these before. That'll be a
your
6 and a 2.
Okay, with a 6, we don't necessarily have to
Sorry, I jumped the gun there.
figure out the position and effect. I will say your effect here is limited. Position would have been... Actually, I think given who she is, desperate. But you got it, so you're good.
Well, I'm gonna mark that then.
Mark it, though. Okay, so you do it. You are able to... you put up sort of a mental block. You just do it instinctively, like, you just sort of quiet your thoughts. And she brushes those fingers past your temple, and then says, "Interesting. Like I said. Huh.
How about that drink if I'm that interesting?
How about that drink?" And she will sort of turn and gesture you over to a quiet booth, one that is not currently occupied.
For sure.
And snap for a serving droid. Let's cut back over to... I want to stay in this room for a second, so let's cut back over to Cheekra. Cheekra, you caught the beginning of that, but then moved away, I think, out of earshot as they were talking pretty quietly.
Yeah, I got who it was, and then was like, no. Cheekra had not put together the connection prior to this. And Akit Zoa is scary. Like, there's not very many people that Cheekra's actually scared of. And this is somebody who they've done their absolute best to murder each other a bunch of times. And if this is her creepy sister,
sure,
then not a win.
It's
unideal.
Probably not a great time for our buddy Cheekra.
Nope. This is great. This is fine. Everything's fine. Cheekra's going to try to stealth closer to that group of Imperial soldiers, resisting the urge.
Mm-hmm. I will tell you, for everybody's information, and I think that success that Zethu just got brings this up. So
is this our clock?
You have filled, at this point, 4... No, I'm sorry. Yes, you filled 4 out of 6 segments on the Get the Code Cylinders clock. So you are very, very close. You have 1 cylinder on the Get Detected clock, which is because of Gom's mixed success. You've been identified by a personal friend of yours. So that ticked a segment on that clock. So that's where we are right now.
I would like to get close enough that Cheekra wants to get close enough to this group of Imperials that they can basically start trying to figure out who might have these codes that we're looking for. Like, who has the outline of a data pad in their jacket or whatever.
Sure. So I'll describe what you're looking for specifically. What you are looking for are in an Imperial uniform. There are these side pockets, and there's a couple of things that look like pens, like the tops of pens that come out of them. You're looking for somebody whose uniform has some number of those little cylinders popping out of the breast pockets. Okay.
So, yeah, from hiding, continuing to be a sneaky little creature, Cheekra is gonna start visually patting these folks down.
All right. I don't think you need a roll for this. You're already in there. They're not hidden in any way. You sort of slide your way around the side of the VIP lounge, and you get to a point where there is a booth with this heavyset Faline man. He's a green-skinned guy with this high forehead and this black hair, which is sort of flowing down and around his shoulders and these kind of like head ridges. And he is kind of holding court at this table with a few others. You see some people who are clearly other Black Suns bigwigs, and you see several Imperial officers there who are sitting or standing variously around this booth, drinks in hand, talking along with this guy, and generally just hanging out, having a nice evening, having a drink. What do you want to do?
Murder. Discretion is the better part of valor or something. I don't know. Somebody dumb said that once.
Well, okay.
And got killed immediately.
You can do a murder. Here is the deal.
No, I'm not. I mean, I can't. Okay, go on.
Just listen. You're allowed to attempt whatever you would like. You should be aware that everybody in this room is several tiers higher than you, in terms of their tier rating, in terms of their quality, and there are still these security guards around. There's still the Black Sun security guards around, who are armed and you are not. So,
does it look
be
like
aware
there might
that
be a
that's
position
the
to swipe these though, on a more sneaky route?
Yeah. So they are on. They're on the chests of these officers. How would you do that?
Honestly, this is the dumbest thing that I can think of. And also the only thing that's coming to my mind is straight up try to do an adorable pet routine and then close up magic. I just want to be very clear. I'm not good at that, but I am okay. I'm pretty good at being sneaky. Not so good at being...
I love this to death. What do you want to roll for it?
Probably consort.
Sure. I think consort would be a good roll for this. Okay, so this is a somewhat desperate move. So the consequences for failure will be very bad. But I can't think of any reason that a success would not give you great effect.
This is such a bad life choice. I don't suppose I can make a deal with the dark side.
You certainly can.
And I'd also like to spend a gambit.
You can certainly do that as well.
Okay.
So you can also keep in mind you can communicate with the rest of your team. So if you wanted to call somebody else in,
can I quietly
to make some sort of to help you in some way to make a distraction or do something else. You could do that as well if you wanted.
That does seem like an ideal choice. So I will say that Cheekra has a communicator. And either
I believe, unless I am incorrect here.
It's italicized, so it doesn't take.
Okay, yeah. So right. So everybody can just have a communicator. It does not take up one of your load.
So yeah, Cheekra is going to very, very quietly put out a call. Cheekra has found the code. Cheekra has found the codes. A distraction would be most opportune.
Ahesha, Gom?
Is there a way to let Zethu visually see me without anybody else seeing me? Like poking little eyeballs out from behind a curtain.
I think you're actually kind of opposite where she is in the room.
Okay.
So.
That's the noise you want to hear your GM make.
Okay, I want to know how much to invest in this. What's your goal with that?
Just it's really minor. It's more just like pops little fuzzy head out, wiggles eyebrows.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you do that for free.
Okay.
So Zethu, as you sit down with Ziara, you see like little Ewok eyes, the little Ewok head quickly pop out from behind the curtain opposite you, behind these Imperials and these Black Suns guys.
We're now the equivalent of that It's Always Sunny scene in the restaurant.
Oh my god, no. What have we become? So does anybody else respond?
I was trying to think, when we talked about this and stuff, like, would it make sense, just based on our actions together, for a distraction to be downstairs or upstairs?
There's a balcony that overlooks stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the VIP.
Yeah, but we're in the VIP, so that means that there would be, if there was enough of a disturbance downstairs, then maybe people would go and look.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I personally feel it should be the humans.
How, so Gom's been engaged in this conversation. Was it ever communicate? Like, does Gom know where you are right now? Like, I don't, Wesley doesn't know if Gom knows where you are right now.
I think
because all he hears
Ahesha
is
knows.
Found a code.
Yeah, but you heard
that is what
cause
you
a
know.
distraction. You heard a distraction would be appreciated.
How big of a distract? Like, we talking like go big or go home, guy, y'all? Like,
I mean, my personal first thought was find a reason for, and the reason it has to be the humans is because where we are, I feel like we should find a reason for one of our guys to punch another one of our guys and both get kicked out.
That's very good.
how?
Is there some way
I have an idea.
we can
I have an
get
idea.
all of the NPCs that we've introduced so far to start punching each other? What's it? But go ahead. Let's go with.
It is time for
Wesley.
It is time for Evan Chrisworth
So
to do his job.
Gom's been chatting with Cran, maybe some of his Black Sun buddies, I guess, for a little while.
Yeah,
We probably had a couple drinks at this point.
for sure.
All right. So Gom's probably a little drunk too.
Probably a
Gom's
little.
definitely a little drunk right now. This is what I'm thinking, guys. Shots with his old roommate and his new buddies, and try to get and just buy shots for everyone at the bar.
Shot.
On the house.
Okay.
Isn't it an open bar? Is it?
Yeah, you probably
I
leave
don't know.
tips, right?
I mean, you
leave
would
tip.
you would
Yeah.
tip.
Right, yeah.
It's an open,
You
it's
can
an
tip.
open
Yeah.
bar, but you would leave tip.
But you could
Sure.
you could also like get a bottle of Corellian
bottle.
champagne.
Get the DJ to put on the music. It's party time, bitches. Like, go all out.
I mean, we have get caught clock to burn here.
You
That's
have a
a
lot of get
resource.
caught clock to burn. Actually,
If you needed
Say
it,
that five times fast. You're gonna say something else.
That's the biggest distraction I can think of.
All right. yeah. So tell me how you're doing this.
Yeah,
I love this.
So Gom's a little drunk. He hears, found the codes, need distraction. Damn, okay. We'll say maybe Crane's a little drunk. Everyone he's been chilling with a little drunk, and he'll go, "Hey, Crane, remember that party senior year
Oh,
where
mate,
where
that party was one of the wildest times I've had in my entire life.
You remember, what was that song called that played? It had just come out. Wesley is scrambling to think of a Star Wars song name.
Is that space in front of it?
Yeah, Space Party Rock. You remember that one?
Oh,
exactly the song I was
party
thinking about.
rockin' in space.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Yes!
And then,
Yes!
and then out the window. Hey, hear me out.
That song was the shit, man.
Let's
That song
let's
was
get
the
a-
shit.
love that song. Hey, buddy, I got an idea. Old time's sake, and I probably don't have a lot of credits, but we'll say he has enough credits on him. We'll figure that part out. He'll like just pull out a chip and go, let's get the best shots we can. Big tip, everyone. Let's get that song going, and let's hit the dance floor.
Yes! All right. You get the shots. I'll go talk to the band.
All right, I'm gonna go over to the bar with Fido. What was his name?
Fidu!
Fidu. I'm gonna go to our buddy Fidu.
Yes, hello, sir. How may Fidu help you?
And I'm gonna just all the credits I have in my pocket, just like, I'm not just totally normal, and I'll just hand them to him or slide them over to him. Best shots you got. Keep pouring them. Keep handing them out.
For all of them? And he looks at the number of people and he looks up at the bottles, some of which are larger than he is, and then he looks back at you with determination in his little Babu Frick styled eyes, and he says, Fido has trained his entire life for this. And
I believe in you, Fidu.
and sweeps the credits into his little hover chair and just revs it over, starts grabbing bottles and pouring those shots. Let's
hold on.
yeah. So what's the next phase of the plan?
Once the first round gets poured,
Yeah.
and maybe he'll looks over and see Cran talking to the DJ.
Yeah.
He'll activate the comm, and I guess he'll maybe yell, shots for everyone.
And on cue,
Trying to get
Ahesha-
everyone riled up.
Yeah, and
Ahesha
a
and,
huge
and then
cheer
Chris
goes
would
up.
go, "Woo!" I don't know. 'Cause
Yeah.
party's happy. Let's go.
yeah, I think
Zethu is
you're
internally
you're
screaming.
still dancing together, and there's just this shots for everyone, and then the beat drops, and the band goes into this like shitty high intensity old club pop song.
Drop the beat,
from
David.
Gom's, yeah, I should
But babe,
Also,
listen.
I
This
am
is
in
this
love
is a
with.
down tempo playlist.
I'm your love hut with 2 T's.
yeah. I was
All
saying
right.
they should be Starco and they should be Starco and lime shots.
I love that.
That's I mean, you were drinking them in college, you know it.
Yeah. Oh
All right.
yeah.
Now we're going. And the floor of the club erupts in cheers as the shots start flowing. Gom, what's your next move?
He is 2 shots in hand. He'll meet Crane on the dance floor because he's still trying to entertain Crane here,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Hold on. Does Crane have cylinders? Wesley didn't even ask that. Does Crane have a
He
cylinder?
does not. He is not high
Okay.
enough rank to have any code cylinders.
All right, that's fine. What's his rank? Ensign probably.
He's I think
you said
Lieutenant.
I think a lieutenant. Yeah.
All right, sure. So he'll meet him on the dance floor, hand a shot. Let's do it up, Lieutenant, and then he'll take a shot and start grooving.
Oh man, I miss bars.
And and Gran is dancing his ass off
Yeah.
with you on the floor. What's the next phase? How do we make this
so-
thirsty?
I didn't get that far. I
Spaceship.
don't know.
Ahesha, you're down there. Anything?
Mm-hmm. I think Ahesha is like subtly making it louder. Mostly involves going around and going up to random people and just going woo at them until they woo back, and then moving on to the next group, and then like woo at them.
Okay, so your goal is just to hype the crowd. The two of you, your goal is to hype the crowd up to like a fever pitch.
Yeah.
Such
Oh
that
yeah, I'll say I'll go back and I'll help Fido hand out the shots,
Okay.
so you can just keep concentrating on pouring as many as you
Zethu
can.
is now the equivalent of the dog going, "This is fine," while like everybody's like raving around, and she's just like,
Hey, we
Yeah.
have been talking about a distraction. Go big or go home.
Honestly, guys, alternate career path. Fuck bounty hunting. Let's do party promotion.
Hey.
this could, this campaign could just take a huge swerve. All right,
I'm loving the
so
space
I want to
disco.
get a group action from Gom and Ahesha.
Okay.
Boy.
Gom, it seems like you're leading this, and
Sure.
Ahesha, you will roll as well. As we've said before, the way group actions work is everybody who's involved in the action, so the two of you in this case, rolls. Highest result from anybody is the result for the group. Any 1 to 3s cost the leader 1 stress. Got
Okay.
it?
Yep.
Sure.
Cool.
Ahesha, how much are you good on stress?
Yeah, I'm fine on stress.
Okay, cool. Depending on what, I think I might need to push myself here, regardless of what the check actually is. Which,
Okay.
honestly, I have no clue. Sway, I guess, might be applicable here.
I was gonna do consort.
I
I
feel
could
like
do either.
what
I could
you
do either.
described is closest to consort.
They're the same for me mechanically.
Okay.
So yeah, consort totally works. I am gonna push myself though.
All right. So you're in a risky position with this, but I think based on the situation at hand, you will have great effect.
You know what? F it. I'm pushing myself too because me.
All right. Let's see how it goes.
Got a 6
All
and a
right.
It
5.
gives you 1 extra, right?
Sorry?
I got
Say again?
I got a 6 and a 2.
Okay, cool. So, Gom, you're going to have to take 1 stress for the 2.
Okay.
But you do it with the 6. So you have whipped this crowd into a fever pitch. Things have gotten rowdy. And I think up in the VIP lounge, Zethu, let's cut to your conversation with Ziara, which will be interrupted by this raucous festivity. So Ziara has sat you down. You have drinks in hand from the serving droids. You've just caught a glimpse of Cheekra sneaking up behind the Imperials on the other side of the room. And Ziara says to you, "All right, now we can talk privately. We've played enough games, I think. I know what you are, and I think you know what I am. Am I right?" Come on. I know that you could sense me the moment you walked in here.
oh man, because Zethu was almost about to be like, "All right," and then, what are you talking about?
You really don't know.
Listen,
Huh,
Ziara.
I had you pegged all wrong. A cool, confident woman like you, coming in here, finding me immediately. But you really don't know. Tell me, Crystal, have you ever heard of the Force?
What, like the myth and fairy tale shit?
Like the myth, like the fairy tale. Yeah.
Yeah, couple of stories, but that's about it. Not really useful in my day-to-day line of work.
Fascinating. What is your day-to-day line of work, Crystal? I know
Odd
you mentioned-
jobs.
You ever feel lucky on those jobs? You ever feel like you get away with things that you shouldn't? Like,
Look, I don't know what you're driving at.
come on. Answer the question.
I've got good instincts.
You got good instincts. You're good at what you do.
Stay alive this long in the galaxy without connections or anything, you've got to have good instincts.
Sure.
You know what that's
Sure.
like.
I do know what it's like. You don't just have good instincts, Crystal. And all that Force stuff. It's not all fairy tales. And she flicks her fingers on the tabletop, and her glass just sort of scoots a couple of inches.
And Zethu immediately kind of flashes back to the warehouse where she definitely did move some boxes pretty forcefully.
Ziara
Okay.
leans in as you're sort of taken aback. She sort of leans in towards you and gets a little too close, a little too much into your personal space. Tell me, Crystal, what did you feel when I did that?
Surprise! People don't just move things.
And at that point, you hear this huge uproar from downstairs and beyond the curtain, and you hear the big Faline guy, the big green boss type looking dude, gets up and says, "What's all that racket?" And he and the Imperials at his table and pretty much everybody else in the room sort of heads for the balcony to look over the dance
is she looking
floor.
away?
Ziara?
Yeah.
She's looking right at you.
All right.
Cheekra.
You.
Cheekra's gonna take this opportunity to strike, as it were.
All right. How do you do it? Everybody's scrambling for
Grubby,
the
grabby
balcony.
paws.
Yeah.
Whoever the last person is to get up, because they're in that awkward position where you're in a booth,
Mhm.
you're stuck behind other people, which is the worst.
Yeah, and they have to sort of scoot around the side.
Exactly.
To get
They
out,
have to
and
scoot.
you're sort
They're
of you're behind them, and you probably have the ability to get up onto the back and maybe over them a little bit.
hmm And I'm literally picturing it's a grab, pull up, reach around. Don't. God damn it, Puja.
Mm-hmm. A normal, innocent sentence.
What's up, y'all? I'm Hopper. I'm a fucking child.
And then we start the episode over again.
Not just you.
It's Groundhog Day, everyone. Let's do this again. I'm rolling. I'm getting a distracted target.
Yeah. So what's your role for this? What's your action?
It's gonna be Skulk.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, what benefits do I have here?
Okay, so you're in a risky position, and you, you're in a risky position, which I think would normally be desperate, but because of the distraction that your friends have set up. Well, friends. Your associates have set up. You are bumping up to a risky position, and you're going to have standard effect.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm never going to level up ever. But here we are. All right. So, the things that my associates have done.
I mean, you can choose to somehow not take advantage of what your associates have done and roll it as a desperate action if you want.
No, hard pass on that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a trap.
I would not, personally.
I would like to... Is it possible... So, can I make the argument that this triggers the Predator trait, which is take +1 rolls, +1 dice to rolls against weakened or vulnerable targets?
Yes.
Doesn't specify that it's fighting.
Yeah, that absolutely applies.
All right. And now I'm going to try to weasel even more.
Please present me with your further weaseling.
I really don't want to get caught doing this. Cheekra is very vulnerable, and we are all very vulnerable in this situation. So can I push myself and also make a deal with the dark side?
You can do one or the other.
I would like to... Actually, I lied. I'm gonna use our gambit for 5 dice.
Didn't
and
somebody
then I'm
already
gonna push
use the
my
gambit?
No, I said I was gonna do it, and then
Okay.
we cut away.
Okay.
And then push myself for 6 dice.
Okay, great.
Because I really don't want to fuck this up, y'all.
Yep.
All right.
We have one job, y'all.
We have one job. Holy shit, that's so many. And
Right. Just
well,
need 6s.
well, how's 3 fucks, a 5, and 2 6s?
2 6s is a crit, my friend. So
Look
with that,
look at this. I'm gonna see if I have to. Can I do this? It's hard with 6 of them.
Oh. That's pretty cool.
yeah, that will 100% fill up the clock.
Oh, yeah.
and take care of those last 2 segments. What does this look like, Cheekra? You are next to, you're sort of sneaking up and over an Imperial officer. She is she's a pale, sort of angular faced woman with red hair, wearing a gray, or I guess this is a dress uniform, so we'll say it's dress whites. Wearing a white Imperial naval uniform of a pretty high-ranking Imperial naval officer. And she's got those code cylinders tucked in.
Yeah, I think that this is like, there's kind of the awkward, this isn't a moment of like looking where you're going and doing the awkward, that super god-awful scooch. And then just kind of you see Cheekra kind of slip. I think Zethu sees all of this. Zethu sees Cheekra slip out of the curtain, furry little ass kind of flailing in the air as they use one arm to push themselves up. And as this person is right in the middle of that scooch, they're just gonna dart one grubby little paw over and just in like with one of their paw segments grab one, and then with one of their other little fingers they're gonna grab the other. Is there more than 2?
She has 4. There's 2 in each.
Yeah,
pocket.
so it's like it's literally boop 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 boop.
Great.
Like, and then drops down right back into the curtains.
Great. And with the critical, that's enough to get you out of the room as well, I think.
All right, so Cheekra
how do you make it out of there?
Cheekra hides. I was just like, oh god, I don't have anywhere to hide these, because I'm bare ass except for a hood. I'm gonna Cheekra tucks them in the back of the hood. There's a little pouch area sewn in the back, and is just going to take advantage of this and just literally does like a little skitter and then a slide past Zethu, just kind of turning and making eye contact before running down the stairs.
Yeah, and I mean, Zethu, I think you try to make eye contact with Zethu, but she's sort of like locked in a very intense conversation with Ziara Nizoa.
Like most things, that is completely over Cheekra's head.
Sure, but you're able to scooch on down the stairs. All right.
Party!
You have the code cylinders. What's the extraction plan?
Run out the front door.
Do you do it alone, or do you need to get Caden?
No, I'm just gonna go up to Caden and be like, I need to pee.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. Okay, yeah. You come to Caden. Like I think Caden and Ahesha leave like looking
right. Like you sort of
leaving.
drift to the edges of this now very raucous crowd, and Cheekra, you are able to. I think you're on the other side of the room.
All right, so I can make contact with. Cheekra's gonna just wander over.
We have our comms too.
You also have comms.
Cheekra's gonna wander over, find a drink that somebody's put down. And ideally,
there's
2
free
drinks.
shots floating around.
Yeah, like Cheekra's gonna find several shots and is just. Y'all let the bear out without a. Oh God, do I need a handler? I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of find somewhere like just kind of off to the side after, like, again with somebody else's drink, and just kind of like I have the codes. The codes have been acquired. We should leave. Right, meow.
Where's Crystal?
Upstairs talking to somebody that is Cheekra does not like. I believe they are very, 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 very dangerous. And this is an open frequency, so Zethu can hear that.
Yeah, Zethu,
Crystal,
you can definitely hear that.
Crystal, are you good to get out? Cough if you are.
I think what you hear is so how Zethu handles this is that she sort of like leans back and just like puts like a hand casually like on her hip as she's leaning, but it's enough to press the comm link.
Mm-hmm.
And she just like tilts her head at Ziara with she's clearly like rattled enough, but like tries to recover, and she just goes, I think this place is getting a little bit too noisy. Why don't we continue this conversation somewhere quieter? Like outside, maybe? I think I want to keep talking with you.
Give me a roll.
My God, are we gonna murder her?
What do you want to roll for this?
Gonna get to
Good
do some
fucking
murder.
God, I don't even know. I think technically I'm trying to sway her.
Roll for seduce.
Yeah, sway is I think probably a good option.
Oh man. And I think I'm gonna push myself.
Okay.
Oh, we're actually still at 1 because we got one at the start of the shenanigans.
Yes. Oh, did you
What?
gain a gambit?
No, we got one. We get one at the start of a job, right?
Yes.
That's the one you
We
used.
only had one.
Which you used.
Oh, is that the one we were counting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it resets every job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Yes.
So you can push yourself to get 1 extra die on this.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, that would technically
you are
bring me to
in.
1.
You're in a risky position. And are you actually trying to lure her somewhere?
That's a 6. My goal is like I just want.
Are you trying?
I heard.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
heard that the rest of my crew is leaving. I don't think I can There's 2 pronged. I don't think I can handle this woman by myself. But since there's bounty on her, and I want to get it. If they're all heading out at the same time, and I can get her outside, we can jump her and take her back to the ship.
Sure.
And I'm also like deeply, deeply rattled about how she knows these things.
All right. Yeah, so that would have been a risky, and I think your effect. She's high tier, so your effect with her She's 2 tiers above you. Every tier
Woo!
drops your effect down 1, so you're actually at no effect for this roll.
Wow.
Unless
Damn.
there's something that you can do to bump up that effect.
As I say this, oh man, this is gonna require another roll. Like for the first time, Zethu's actively gonna reach out, and I'm gonna say it through the force, and like try to slide like her glass into her hand, just to like show her that
Ooh.
like she can actually do this.
Cool.
And what she wants to talk about is specifically about these things that she found so interesting.
Okay. So I think that is going to put you at risky position, and I think it'll bring you up to limited effect.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's a 4 and a 5.
Okay. 4 and a 5. So you do it, but there's a complication.
Oh, baby! I was hoping there'd be.
So she leans back a little, and you're able to, as you say this, push the glass back in her direction. She smiles. It's getting a little loud in here, I agree. Let's go back to my ship. And she gets up and just starts walking out.
Well, we're all like the rest of the crew's walking out too. I just need her to get out the door.
Sure.
All right.
So she heads out of the VIP lounge. She's going via a different exit. So she gets out onto the balcony area and sort of slips past the people who are there. And remember, this is an interior balcony that wraps around, right? And she is heading for a different door on this 3rd level from the one where you came in.
Zethu has no choice but to keep following her. She's gonna like, as quietly as she can, tap the comm again. Just being like, "Oh, these places. I should have known that there was like multiple ways in and out."
Yeah, Ziara doesn't have anything I think particular to say about that, and she's
That was more for the
Right,
benefit
right.
Of us, yeah.
of y'all's. You can maybe see Zethu crossing.
Oh yeah, as soon as
you can
Ahesha
probably
hears
get
that,
eyes
she's looking
on her.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're all looking up.
Yeah, she might even glance down like,
Gom, what are you up to here? You are in the thick of it, Gom.
Yeah.
Cran has drawn you to the middle of the crowd on the dance floor. People are packed in tight. There's like drinks splashing over everybody's nice suits and dresses.
Just like college.
Cran is like pumping his fists in the
Yeah,
air.
yeah.
There's that one guy who has his tie wrapped around his head at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going, Gom! I'm dancing! Hey! Look at me
You
go!
still got the moves, buddy, just like in school.
Got it!
Still got
Woo!
it. Ah, jeez. So then he'll hear the message, and then I'd say probably the only person who would be telling him to maybe abstract his view would be Ahesha, but I don't think she's not in the thick of the crowd, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. You could probably look up and just see, probably not the person that Zethu's following, but see Zethu walking and following someone.
Yeah, I think all of you, if you take the moment to look up, could easily see both of them.
And just to clarify, when you said the balcony wraps around, is the wrapped around part of the balcony also only accessible through the velvet rope, or was it just that VIP room?
You're not sure. Zethu, based on what you have seen thus far, the answer is yes. But that doesn't preclude alternate exits.
but would it stand to
Or
reason that
entrances.
if you were to leave the building, you might be able to walk around the building from the outside?
Not as far as you're aware. So you were on an elevated landing pad. when you came in. The landing pad, it's like Cloud City style. So you had the landing pad and a walkway that went directly into the building. There are several other landing pads around the building, which don't have any ground access except via the entrances into the Rancor Club.
So hypothetically, if we were to, I don't know, fly over there with our shuttle, we could do that.
Yes, you can definitely do that if you can find the right landing pad that Zethu is headed to.
While we watch Zethu go out, I will tell Kaden, get us out of here. Because I'm assuming Cheekra is like within gesturing thing. And then since we have our gear on us, what she would like to do is subtly pull out. I mean, she's the mechanic of the ship. I don't know if this needs hacking tools, but she's going to turn on a tracker in Zethu's communicator.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
I love that.
Mark off. I'm gonna ask you to mark off something for that. Hacking tools seems like a good option.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, so you're able to do that, and you now have a beacon on Zethu.
Okay, and I think her and Kaden are going to look like those jerks who are leaving a party early together, dragging a pet along with them, or not dragging, but like just behaving completely inappropriately with a teddy bear falling behind.
Sure.
At this point, Cheekra's like pretty drunk. Just gonna put that out there. Cheekra's been
like, I want in.
Yeah, Cheekra's like doesn't really know what's going on, but actually looks more like a pet now than any time before when they were just acting like that. They're they're kind of like
But before she goes, she will turn around and try to make eye contact with Gom to see whether Gom thinks he can get out of his current predicament or needs help.
Yeah, he'll give Ahesha a nod, and he'll try to I won't yell. He'll yell over the crowd, "Yo, Cran, I'm not feeling it yet. I got to get another drink. I'll be right back."
Yes.
I'm gonna make you roll for that, but I think we'll deal with that roll next time.
Oof.
We briefly head back to Zethu and Ziara. Ziara leads you around the rim of this balcony, through a door and a vestibule, past a whole bunch of, Black Sun security, guys and equipment, bouncers, etc., and out onto a landing pad very similar to the one that you came in on. And you can see parked at the far end on the pad, part of the landing pad, is an Imperial shuttle. One of those, angular boys with the big evil swan wings. And Ziara leads you through the door, turns back in front of her shuttle, the night wind starting to whip at your and her clothing, and says to you, "Come on, I want to show you something." And that's where we're going to cut it. Folks.
Fading to something.
I'm going to show you something.
This has been Flights of Fandom Longshot here on ManaPot Studios. We will be back with the conclusion to this exciting, confusing, intriguing party next week. And we're going to see if these bounty hunters can manage to smuggle the code cylinders that they got their grubby little hands on out of this place and get the location of the Imperial base where their ultimate target is. And
I have a feeling I'm going to end up in that base.
And I think maybe Zethu is going to learn some things. Or maybe not. I don't know.
Hard to tell with her, really.
Yeah, we'll find out. But we will be back with episode 5 next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on ManaPot. I have been your GM, David. Once again, you can check out my games. I design tabletop RPGs, much like this one, but not like this one. It's different. Over at dbb-8.itch.io. So go over there if you'd like to see what I do. And I've been joined this evening by...
It's me, Marcy, aka Experimental Badness. You can find me most places around the internet under that username, as previously stated. If you're liking what we're doing, I encourage you to check out some of the other shows on this channel. There's always good stuff. Everyone works really hard, and it's amazing. We love having you watch all of our shenanigans week after week. I've been playing Zethu Desh, the Arcanian offshoot pilot, and Trash Jedi. Is what I will now be effectively calling her.
Thanks for watching. I've been Wesley, playing Dr. Gom. You can find me on almost every social media as Horniest Lobster, where I love ranting about various things, and recently trashing talk about Boston sports teams. So if you don't like Boston, hi. That's all I got.
Hi, I'm Puja. You can find me on Twitter at Puja and in other places on the internet as Pujabberwocky. And you can find me every other Friday on this very channel playing a vampire in medieval Constantinople in a Vampire the Masquerade game. And you can find me on Mondays, for only 2 more Mondays, playing Castle Falkenstein on the Wandering DM Twitch channel. But in the meantime, I shall be here on Tuesdays with my lovely friendos, continuing to shenanigan like it's my fake job.
Ha! And last, and not least this time, I'm gonna talk so much. No, what's up, y'all? I'm Hopper. I've been playing Cheekra, your friendly local murder bear. And I can be found around this channel a great deal, but also on the interwebs at Fail Deadly. That is with a 3 instead of an E, and because I'm a bad person. I believe I'll be actually on this same time on Saturday. I will be guesting on the Absalom anthology, which is a Starfinder series here on ManaPot Studios. I haven't even made my character yet. That's what I'm going to do once we sign off. It's probably going to be a little rat creature obsessed with the shinies. In case you wanted more me playing obnoxious small furry creatures. And also check out Marcy and I both play on The Hole in the World every other Sunday, which is an Invisible Sun podcast. If you want less whimsical and more deep, terrifyingly weird, confusing, just, oh God, what's going on? It's a really surreal game, and it's a lot of fun though. So, yep. That's all.
Great. Well, thank you once again to all of you players, everybody out there in Chatland, everybody out there in Viewerland. Each and every one of you is awesome. We will see you next time, and may the Force be with you.